So disability discrimination cases are very complex cases that have a very in-depth analysis. So there's many questions, sub-questions that go into that what is a disability discrimination case question. But generally speaking, there are two statutes that ban disability discrimination in the workplace. The first one, which many people have heard of, is the federal law, which is called the ADA, which is Americans with Disabilities Act. And that says, generally speaking, that you can't take an adverse action against somebody, terminate their employment, demote them, make other decisions that negatively affect the person because of a person's disability. And we also in Minnesota have a state law under the Minnesota Human Rights Act that bans disability discrimination as well. There's some differences between those laws, but generally speaking, they are very, very similar. So that's generally what protects employees against disability discrimination. One thing I would say though that I would like to highlight for folks is a lot of people don't like to tell their employers that they have a disability. And then they get terminated and then they come to me and they say, oh, I think I was terminated because of my disability. Well, the first question they ask them is, was your employer well apprised that you had a disability? Because if the employer doesn't know what your specific ailment is, if you had epilepsy, for example, but you never had a seizure and your employer didn't know that you had epilepsy, then your employment really can't discriminate against you because they didn't know what your disability was. So it's better to be open and honest with your employer if you need an accommodation in the workplace because of your disability, and tell them what your exact disability is, even though sometimes you want to keep that private, in order to fully apprise them of the accommodations that you need and what your medical conditions are.